What is up, and welcome back to another episode of So There's That. I am your hostess, doing the mostest, Kiwanchi. And just a quick thing, if you hear some chewing in the background, listen, these dogs are being so worrisome. So I gave them their version of a sunflower seed, and it's like this S-shaped bone thingy. It looked like a piece of intestines or like an esophagus. It just is what it is, gotta keep them satisfied. Like, I am not battling with them tonight. So hopefully y'all don't hear too much of it. I apologize. This is just what happens when you have four-legged children who will not leave you alone. This is the only thing that I could do to sit down and actually record for you tonight. Before we get into the episode, y'all, all 526 of you, let me go check the stats right now. Hold on. Hold on. All 526 of you and everybody else who has viewed my work and contributed to 105,000 views. Thank you so much. I literally just get on here and yap by myself, and I don't know if that makes me crazy or what, to be able to do this for this long with so many episodes, as a new podcast who just hit a year. My first podcast episode was last year, July 17th, and it was the Acolyte. Oh my God, that's crazy. In a year, no subscribers, no views, nobody knew me, especially on YouTube, in such a vast space where anything can get lost in this space. For 526 of y'all to come here and gather and commune in my little community, thank you so much. To everybody who will be leaving books underneath these comments. I do read every single word. I have so many different jobs in addition to my main career, and I just think it's important right now for sure, to read every comment, from the very lengthy ones to the small ones. I appreciate your support in all of the ways in which you support me. Um, I hope to continue to be able to communicate with y'all. I wish for things to just continue to grow and continue to be a positive space here. If you read the comments, I really don't do none of the like negativity and stuff like that. This is just not that type of space. And so I appreciate people coming into the comments and just watching my videos and just seeing like, yeah, I like to, rag on stuff. I like to pop my jokes and everything like that. But this is just a space for respectful agreements, respectful disagreements. I love a good, healthy debate and opposing views. Y'all already know. Y'all not gonna like everything I say. Y'all are gonna have more knowledge on things that I talk about. And that's the beauty of conversation. That's the beauty of getting to know people. It's not about everybody clicking and firing on all cylinders all the time. I believe in diversity in thought first and foremost, and diverse thoughts come in diverse people. So if you respect people's backgrounds, their experiences, and the lens in which they are viewing things, receiving things, and living their own lives, then it makes for a great community. And I am having fun with everything that I do. Like I say, nobody pays me to do this. Nobody paid me to start doing this. I just had so much to say and needed a bigger platform other than Twitter and the word count that they allowed me to do. And so we're here, and we're on TikTok, and we're on Instagram, and I get to just be myself and talk about movies and themes and TV shows and all the other things. But if you have some suggestions for things that you would like me to start incorporating into my podcast episodes, then definitely let me know. The Emmys are coming up, so in September for sure, I will be covering it and talking about different things, different nominations and stuff on the podcast, just like I did the award season back in January for all the different awards that were coming up between January and April. What else? I think that's it. Yeah, whatever thoughts I have, leave them in the comments box below. And now that all the sappy stuff is out of the way, we are here to talk about murder. Okay, Dexter Resurrection, season 1, episode 3, titled Backstreet Driver. Let's get into the particulars before we get into this show, shall we? So the director for this episode was Monica Raymond. And I'm just really loving seeing like a lot of the women directors on these different shows. Shout out to us. The writer was Zayas, and the cinematographer was Radium Cheung. Now, real quick cinematography love. I love the intro and the outro of these episodes. It reminds me of Gotham City, but then also like Sin City. And I've said this in a few podcast episodes. I know certain people only watch the certain shows that they like. I don't expect y'all to go back and watch all of my other episodes if I'm covering shows of a show that you're not interested in. But when I was talking about the substance, I love vertical shots. Who else did that? Lane, when I was covering Black films. And if you haven't seen Lane, it's amazing. UK film. It's just absolutely incredibly hilarious. But those vertical shots, like just straight down, I love it. It provides like so much. What's the word I'm looking for? What's the word? Oh my God, it starts with an A. Abstract. So it's very abstract. And there's like all these like linear connections and lines, but then you have the buildings and stuff coming up and it kind of like disrupts everything. And then in the middle of the road, you get the title of the episode. I really enjoy that. I also enjoy that we don't get the credits and everything until the end of the show. From a standpoint of somebody who reviews a lot of different TV shows and film for the channel, when I'm like taking my notes and stuff, because a lot of times IMDb just is not correct, and I don't know whose job that is to be updating that. But IMDb don't be correct all the time. It is what it is. I like to do some research. Y'all know I've messed up a couple of times where I've sat here and just not been prepared when I thought I was. But like when I'm doing it at the beginning, it's like pause, 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 pause. Okay, rewind, pause, 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 pause. And then it's so many credits that it honestly makes me be like, huh. And so a lot of times I would just watch the shows, take my notes, and then I would go back and like do all the stuff before. I'm figuring out this along the way as I go with this. And I'm watching Dexter, and I remember I was like, wait, did I miss like the credits? So I rewinded it. The show just started, so I was like, all right, bet. And then it goes to the end, and it's this bomb ass song. I love the theme music, and then boom, we're hitting all of the key players right off the bat. I appreciate that. It's small, and y'all may not appreciate it, but pay attention to like these credits. Like you ever just be watching like Law and Order SVU, and the episode is 10 minutes in, and we still putting executive producer names over like the actual show. And so for me, I'm better with subtitles now, and I do subtitles now because of this job, especially when shows don't be saying the characters' names, and I be having to figure out like, okay, who's who. But for the longest time, it's like I just want to watch it. Like, why is the production designer name over this pivotal scene that's happening like in the beginning? Like, I get it, but this showed me how much I would like to not get it. Okay. And so that's like my little nerd rant. It's particular. It's not going to make or break anything. Like everybody do what y'all do. My movie is in post right now. It's probably going to have some opening credits. I'm just saying that's something that I'm going to take moving forward for me professionally. And I hope to see it, on these other streaming platforms. But enough about all of that. Let's get into this. Y'all, why is Dexter driving the Your Car rideshare service? And he actually cares. Like, this is so crazy. My man's out here in a hoopty. He ain't got no Capri Sun. He ain't got no water. He ain't got no high C. He ain't got no apple juice. My man ain't got no charger. He is just here to put you in the car with no music. Like, quiet mode means don't talk to me. It doesn't mean I want to hear your carburetor or your muffler or the shrieking sounds of your brakes. Like, God, please put something on. And it just reminded me, and it kind of shows the audience too, like, Dexter as a universe is 20 years old. Dexter, as a serial killer, is very much stuck in the art of his ways in which he's perfected while he was growing up. So there's just a lot of things that he isn't going to acclimate to nor adapt to in this time, right? So as we saw him before we got into Resurrection, he's still like being outdoors. He's still like doing all these other things, but he's not really like a 21st century person. Yes, he can appreciate 21st century things like ordering stuff off the internet, being able to go online and like quickly do like background checks and things of that nature. But seeing him in this rideshare, something that's just so simple, and yes, he's doing it to catch a killer. It's like this small moment just really puts it in your face that Dexter is old, like old in like technology, right? Technology is very, very, very young. I don't think anything is over the age of 30, like at all, like at all. Um, so to just kind of see him in this space, we're looking at Dexter kind of introducing some things in his life that while he's going about it like, okay, I'm going to do this to just infiltrate and assimilate and do what I need to do so that I can continue to feed my murderous hunger. These are small little nuggets that's putting him on the radar of cameras, that's causing him to make memorable connections and meaningful connections, like with the Blessing family. So, Dexter doesn't strike me as the type of person that's like trying to get into the cookout. However, Blessing and his family has basically welcomed him to the cookout, just kicking and screaming. My man's just trying to live in the basement, trying to be nice enough to not raise no suspicion. But listen, Black people not letting you live in a house and they don't know who you are. Cause Mrs. Bless, and I know that ain't her name, but I love the name Blessing as a first name, so I'm gonna call her Mrs. Blessed because they need to be blessed. She ran a criminal background check on him. She was like, I ain't gonna have nobody living in this house and I don't know who they are. And Dexter's like, huh, damn, back in the day, people were just letting me do whatever I wanted, but now I can't do that. But it gives him an idea so that he can continue to stalk the fake dark passenger. But this is just one of those things where he's sitting at the dinner table with Blessing, his wife, the grandma, the daughter, her man. They're talking about college and PhDs and all of these different things. And we know that Harrison is out there and he's trying to keep an eye out on him. But now there's entering some emotional conflict with Dexter, because while he's like playing pretend, he's having real feelings and real thoughts and reactions to what a normal life could have looked like had he been normal, had Harrison been around him, and had he even attempted to try to do some of those things. Even if he was teaching him to kill on the side, kill at night after you get him from T-ball practice. What are we doing? And so this is one of those situations where them being just such a communal family and just being so warm and open, but wife is minding their P's and Q's. Dexter hasn't really been around genuine kindness. They don't want a single thing from him. Blessing even hooked up his car and trying to help him keep good on his ratings or whatever. Will Dexter continue doing this afterwards? I don't know, but it would be so funny. It would just be a nice comedic storyline for Dexter to just be an Uber driver. Like, I don't know why that tickles me so much, because he don't have to kill like his regular, drivers or whatever. But it just seems so mundane, and it seems like it could put Dexter in a space where we're watching him learn how to walk all over again, learning how to have normal conversations with people, and maybe utilize the ride share to get some things out, like with one Mr. Fake Dark Passenger. Loved, loved, loved this scene. Dark Passy gets in, and he thinking tonight is the night, and he loops this chain around Dexter's neck. Now, Dexter already got this little concoction ready to knock him out, and it falls underneath the seat. So the guy kind of like has control of the situation, and y'all already know this is a very like voiceover driven show. And Dexter's just like, oh, ah, that man was like, you got anybody looking for you? Dexter was like, hell nah. And then he was like, what? He was like, oh, okay. Oh no. Like, yeah, somebody's gonna miss me. No, don't kill me, mister. And he rolling his eyes and shit. And I'm just screaming because it's like, it's that sense of like dry humor and like hyper seriousness that makes this a comedy for me. Now, I find inappropriate things very hilarious. I am so sorry. I am one to laugh at a funeral, y'all. And I don't know what it is. I think it's like Lestat syndrome. Like, you're about to pour out something super deep, and if you say it a certain way, I'm sorry. I am like fighting every impulse to not laugh. And so in this scene, it was just really funny. But one of the pivotal things is Dexter's just like, sure, you know what? I'm just going to lean into all the truths in my life. And Dexter actually says the real truth out loud about him being estranged from his son. So while there was a picture of a mixed boy on the dashboard, he was talking about his actual son in the real world. So now we're finally hearing Dexter say the thing out loud that's not in his head. It's very easy to be in your head, and then once you kind of say it in your head and you rationalize it, and then the next time you open your mouth, it's all the excuses that you came up with. And so for Dexter to finally have this moment with another serial killer and just say the thing out loud about him being a shitty father, not wondering, not knowing if his kid would even want him around, not doing the thing that he should have done for him in the first place. And he probably does deserve to be walking this earth alone, because what type of father would do this to his own son and make him be that way? And in that, Dexter kind of gets power, and he's just like, you know what? I'm actually a terrible person, and I kill terrible people. So if I'm going to have these urges anyway, then I might as well just continue to lean into it. And the guy is just like, what in the fuck is going on? And Dexter finally gets the upper hand on him, and they go back to the guy's place. Because of course Dexter scoped it out. And also, I would love that turtleneck that Dexter had on. It looked so warm and comfortable against his skin. Like, costume designer, if you ever see this, please drop the link, the name, or whatever of this sweater in that show. Like, it was clean. Clean. Dexter was looking real crispy. Crispy. So he has the guy, and he's back to his usual ways. He got him wrapped up, and he's like, boom, I can't believe you was out here throwing mud on my name. You're out here, bodies are getting caught, ill. And I know that Blessing said that we looked alike, but baby, I look better than you. I have more hair than you. I condition. Okay, I pre-poo. I use a dash of coconut oil, okay? How dare you? And the guy was like, listen, if this is about you breaking into my place earlier and leaving my trophies out and some money, bro, you could take this money. I don't got nothing to do with that. And Dexter was like, sir, I don't give a fuck what you talking about. I don't even know what you're talking about. But I know these people didn't deserve to die. And whatever little sob story that you're selling, sell it to Hades because you're going to hell. And he kills him. But Dexter's like, let me see what the fuck this dude talking about. So he checks his belongings, and there lies a beautiful invitation to what I'm going to now refer to as Kill Conference. So if y'all haven't guessed it by the end of this episode, Charley is orchestrating a kill conference for New York's finest serial killers. And Dexter takes this opportunity to assume the identity of one Mr. Dark Passenger. Now, this is really cool because he gets to call himself openly the Dark Passenger and not necessarily just a Dark Passenger in his head, how he was doing all these years that we've known Dexter, while, you know, openly and legally assuming the name of this guy. I think his name was like Raymond or something like that, but, you know, DP is what we're going to call him now. And Dexter does what he does. Now, this is the part where I need Dexter to grow as a killer. You're assuming this man's identity, which means you're now going to have to assume how he kills. Changing your MO after assuming this man's identity after you killed him is going to be a huge red flag to the killer that is orchestrating the kill conference. So I don't think this is a good idea at all. Voiceover Dexter says, yes, I walk this earth alone, but at least I could do it with some other killers among me. But I just don't think it's going to be what you think it's going to be, one Mr. Morgan, because they stalked this man enough to go into his house, break into the house. They knew how he killed. They knew where he kept his trophies, and they offered him money for it. You can't do that. So now there's this added method of killing that Dexter might have to incorporate to keep up this ruse. 1. 2, your son has just killed somebody and you know that the body was chopped up in 9 pieces. That is an MO that you had as the Bay, what is it, the Bay? Jeez, Bay Harbor Killer. I'm going to say the Bay side. The Bay Harbor Killer. So you need to change your signature. Now, I already said this man is old. And by old, I mean he is in his ways. Changing his signatures in his MOs and adopting someone else's while also trying to alter a little bit of what's going on to even be able to try to save his son, that's going to turn into mistakes. It took decades for Dexter to master his craft as a killer. And now with this single decision, you not only have to assume another man's identity, you have to move into his place. Again, they were watching him. You have to move into his place and you have to continue killing rideshare drivers. How are you going to do that? How are you going to explain that away? Now, an alternative to his own MO, Dexter's original MO, is to continue to chop up bodies in 9 pieces, but instead of burning them, maybe leave one somewhere else away from this hotel to get the police off of Harrison so that it looks like it was just an unfortunate thing that guy ran into. I mean, I don't even want to call him a guy. He was drugged that girl and was about to rape her. So it was an unfortunate thing that the rapist ran into in the hotel. And so then if you can do another body and have another body get caught, then that would be ideal. But if you don't tie them trash bag knots the same, then like, what could that look like? It's just too many variables right now that could get Dexter in jail. Now, Harrison escaped by the skin of his teeth. But it was a great alibi. Really enjoying how situationally this worked out for him, but I don't think Harrison's going to be out of the crosshairs unless Dexter somehow kills someone and lets the body get found to pull the investigation away from the hotel and away from Harrison. That's the only way that I can see this going. Then on top, one Angel Batista, former bestie. Angel still clearly loves Dexter, but he knows that that man is a serial killer and he cannot enjoy his retirement until he faces Dexter once and for all. What the hell does this wrench even look like? I don't know, y'all. You tell me. So there's that. Dexter Resurrection Season 1 Episode 3, Backseat Driver. What do y'all think? What do y'all think? I genuinely think Dexter needs to come up with a plan quick, fast, in a hurry. He also needs to stop using the internet. Oh, but if he stops using the internet, then he has to go places in person and there's so many cameras. Money is fucked. Like, I don't know. How can you get away with it with this much technology? I watch a lot of true crime, and a lot of people was just getting away with stuff not because they were good at hiding the body or evidence or anything like that. Time just needed to pass for people to analyze evidence with new technologies. And Dexter is going by his real name and he's being seen on cameras. So the threat of being found out through Dexter Resurrection is so high. He is dealing with a new world. He's dealing with new cops. Detective Wallace is a beast. She's a serial killer of like detectives. She's Monk. Like, she's in that dude on Law and Order Criminal Intent. She's him. Like, she uses her neurodivergence to find killers. Like, it just is what it is. Like, this is gonna be a crazy season, y'all. This is gonna be a crazy season. But I don't know. Y'all tell me. This is going to wrap up this episode. As always, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, leave comments in the comments box below. If you got people that only want to listen to the show, make sure you share the Spotify and the Apple Podcast link. You can also find me on Instagram at So There's That Podcast, where I talk about a lot of film and TV updates and news. You can also find me on TikTok, where I do short form reviews on shows that I do not review nor talk about on this channel. So make sure you look for your girl over there. And as always, you can find me on Twitter talking my shit at Kivon She. And with that, I'm gonna catch y'all in the next episode.